Welcome. Today we are going to cover 5 popular standing poses. I'm going to go over the Sanskrit and the common name for the pose. We'll go over a little mythology, a little yoga mythology about the pose. We'll cover the benefits of the pose, why we should add it to our practice. And finally, we will build that pose from the ground up to have great alignment in your pose. Let's get started. The 5 poses that we're going to cover today are Tadasana, Utkatasana, Uttanasana, Utthita Parsvakonasana, and Garudasana. Tadasana. The common name for Tadasana is mountain pose. Tadasana in Sanskrit means tada, mountain, and asana, pose. And that's how we get mountain pose. There are several benefits of practicing Tadasana. It encourages proper spinal alignment, improves concentration, and strengthens the legs, ankles, and core muscles. It can also help alleviate back and neck pain and overall body awareness. Some mythology about Tadasana. There's a story involving the sage Narada and Lord Brahma, and it talks about the benefits of practicing Tadasana. Narada, during some of his travels in the Himalayas, meets different common people apt at Vedic knowledge, singing, and archery. He was so impressed by each of their skills that Narada impulsively decides to learn and master all 3 skills. So much so that he becomes restless and cannot wait to get as good as the masters. He spends a few months with each of the masters and supposedly learns to sing, to recite the Vedic hymns, and perform archery. Excited about his new acquisition of these skills, he goes to Lord Brahma and tells him about his achievement. Lord Brahma asks him to showcase these skills. To his disappointment, Narada fails to deliver on all 3 skills. He feels dejected and starts to cry in front of Lord Brahma. Seeing his sadness, Lord Brahma counsels him and tells Narada that letting his mind jump from one skill to the other without investing sufficient time to gain mastery over one of the skills can lead to unproductive learning. What he actually needs is focus, determination, and a calm mind to learn the skill. He asks him to go back and practice Tadasana to gain insight into himself. He makes him understand that regular practice of Tadasana can help him quiet his restless, wanting mind by establishing a mind-breath connection, thereby gaining clarity on what he likes and he wants to pursue. Starting our Tadasana from the ground up. Feet a couple inches apart, 2-3 inches apart. We're going to lift those toes, spread those toes wide, and grip those toes into the mat. Finding that balance where you have weight on your heels, you have weight on your toes, and on the sides of your feet as well. Moving up the legs, we're going to engage the calves, lift the kneecaps, and engage the quads. So right now we have strong grounding feet. We have active legs. Going to the hips, we're going to rotate those hips under just a little. We're going to pull up through that pelvic floor or the Malubandha. Lift up through the rib cage. Shoulders come down and back, broadening that chest. Arms are down by the side, palms facing the thighs. The last one is feeling that spine lengthen as you're being pulled up through the crown of your head. This is a strong, active Tadasana. Utthita in Sanskrit is fierce, and asana is pose. So Utkatasana, fierce pose. The benefits of Utkatasana. It strengthens the lower body, the ankles, the feet, the calves, the quads, all of the lower body. It engages those muscles to help strengthen those. It also helps to improve posture, can improve digestion, and offers that stability. The mythology behind Utkatasana. Utkatasana means fierce pose in Sanskrit. Fierce, or it can also be said as powerful pose. So with Lord Rama, when he was to step in as king, the queen, his stepmother, did not want him to become king. So she sent him into exile for 14 years, and Rama's brother, Bharata, took his place on the throne. However, Bharata did not feel that he was worthy of the position and placed Rama's sandals on the throne. And this was a message to the people that he believed that Rama deserved to be the rightful king, but Bharata will step in or stepped in and did the best of his ability. Our fierce pose. Feet are together. We're going to reach our arms up, our Urdhva Hastasana. Bending those knees, sending the hips back. Reaching those arms up. If we do a quick check, we should still be able to see our toes past our knees. Fingers are spread wide. Engage those arms. Hips turn under, tuck that tailbone slightly. And forward fold. We'll straighten the legs, hinge at the waist. Reach for the floor. Excellent. Coming to a standing, to our Tadasana. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have fun practicing Utkatasana. Our next pose is Uttanasana. Uttana means intense stretch, and asana is pose. So we have our intense stretch, or commonly known as forward fold. The benefits of Uttanasana. First of all, there is a tremendous benefit of stretching the entire spine to strengthen and maintain good spinal health. This pose, as we fold forward, stretches the backs of the legs, the butt, and all the way up into the neck. This aligning of the spine will also help as we are standing up nice and tall and helps with our posture. It may also help alleviate back pain and neck pain, and may even help it from its reoccurrence. As you fold forward and we are inverted, Uttanasana helps the blood flow. It can help the different organs and can even help those bowels start moving. So if constipation could be an issue for you, an Uttanasana in your practice may help things get moving. The emotional and spiritual benefits of Uttanasana. As the body folds forward, this is a symbolic gesture to the universe, the energy that is greater than any one individual, but ironically is an integral part of each individual. We find ourselves not only paying homage to the universal power, but also giving thanks for the life that power gives to each one of us. The moment that you perform Uttanasana, you are humbling yourself to the universe. You recognize how inconsequential that you are, but also the power that you hold and the potential that could be. Okay, now we are going to do Uttanasana. Standing with our feet together, arms down by our side in Tadasana. Inhale, reach arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. We're gonna fold forward. We're gonna dive out, hinging at the waist, reaching for the floor. We look at our shins, we look at our knees. Hands beside the feet. We'll inhale, drag those fingers up the legs, back to our Tadasana. Uttanasana, or forward fold. So there may be the need for some adaptations. Maybe we can't reach all the way to the floor. So some options. Option number one is to use a block. So on my way down, right, I'm going to Urdhva Hastasana, reach those arms up, and then fold forward. Hinge at the waist, reach for the floor. And maybe my floor is the top of this block. I'm still going to have my head in neutral here, looking at my knees or my shins. And of course, we can change the level of the block depending on the need. Okay, I'm going to come back up to standing. There's another adaptation or modification that we can make, and perhaps that's because a belly gets in the way. Many of us have our bellies. It's hard to go forward. So you could widen your stance, and then as you reach up here, and as you fold forward, it gives the belly, right, space in between the legs as you fold. So that's an option as well. Maybe the feet are a little bit farther apart. We Urdhva Hastasana, reach those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. So we let that belly kind of settle in between the legs, right? Giving some room and some space in between the legs as we fold forward. We'll inhale, coming up to standing, our Tadasana. Another modification that might be helpful is making the feet wider on the mat before your fold. If you have a belly, and we're all different shapes and sizes, that may help with your fold, kind of giving that space for your belly as you fold forward. So with that, with or without that block, but maybe those feet are a little further apart, we inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. And then our Uttanasana, hinging at the waist, reaching for the floor or maybe the block, right? Bringing that ground up to the hands for stability. We'll inhale, come to standing and back to our Tadasana. So I hope you find your Uttanasana that works for you. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Sanskrit, Utthita means extended. Parsva is side. Kona is angle. an asana is pose. Utthita Parsvakonasana, or common name, side angle pose. Utthita Parsvakonasana benefits. Some benefits of Utthita Parsvakonasana can be improved lung capacity, blood circulation, and digestion. It can also help increase the body's endurance and stamina, strengthening the spine, hips, thighs, ankles, and knees. Utthita Parsvakonasana is not mentioned in any of the medieval yoga texts. It appears in the 20th century in Krishnamacharya's school of yoga. The teachings of his pupils, Patabi Joy and BKS Iyengar, also bring in this pose, this asana, into their teaching. Utthita Parsvakonasana is thought to activate the Manipura chakra, and that chakra is the body's energy and vitality center. And it's thought by practicing Utthita Parsvakonasana that this pose can help dispel fear and insecurity. We are now going to do Utthita Parsvakonasana. We're going to start from a downward facing dog. So getting into that downward facing dog. We're going to start with that left foot. We're going to bring left foot forward in between the hands. Back foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat, going up into Virabhadrasana 2. We're going to press the outer edge of the back foot, the pinky side of the back foot, pressing that foot into the mat, having a good pressure in that front foot, pulling up through that rib cage. Strong Virabhadrasana 2. Going to Utthita Parsvakonasana. Front hand is going to go to the outside of that front foot. Fingertips or finger pads on the floor. Okay, nice knee bend. We're still pressing in that outer foot. We're going to take our top hand and bring that up by our ear. Extension through that arm. Opening the chest. Opening the hips. Hand back down to the mat. Bring that foot back for a downward facing dog. I'm going to come on up here. The next part, we are going to do some variations. One thing that we can do, depending on the student's flexibility or maybe experience level, going into our Warrior 2, our Virabhadrasana 2, for maybe the beginner level, you can take this front arm, bend at the elbow, bring that forearm to the knee, back hand again reaches up, and we get it up by that ear. We're still rotating, keeping those hips open, opening the chest. So this may be a little attainable for some. I'm going to come up on out of this here. Some things to remember or to cue as you have that forearm on that front thigh is that we don't want to really rest into it, right? We want to still keep our legs active, pressing into the floor, lifting up, so that's a gentle pressure on that front thigh and not dumping all of your weight into that front thigh. So here's the next, right? Maybe the next step up as we get into our Virabhadrasana. Nice strong feet, right? Kind of building from the ground up. And then going into our Utthita Parsvakonasana. Perhaps we're reaching to that block, the block's to the outside of that foot. Again, up onto those finger pads, tenting those fingers. We're here, we've got a strong base. That arm reaches forward. We make sure that those chest is open, the hips are open. Pressing through those feet. And then coming back up to warrior two. And I'm going to come back up to standing. The block can be on different levels, right? As someone becomes maybe more experienced. I hope you enjoy practicing Utthita Parsvakonasana. Our next and last pose is Garudasana. In Sanskrit, Garuda is known as king of the birds, and asana is pose. Garudasana's common name is eagle pose. Benefits of Garudasana. Garudasana can improve balance, improve focus, enhance flexibility, can help treat sciatica, strengthen your legs, and improve blood circulation. The yoga pose, Garudasana, is also known as eagle pose. It's named after Garuda, a divine bird creature from the Hindu mythology. The word Garudasana comes from Sanskrit words Garuda, which means eagle, loosely translated as eagle, and asana, which means posture or pose. Garuda is a mythical bird with a golden human body, a white face, red wings, and an eagle's beak. He's known as the king of birds and is associated with birth, heaven, sun, and fire. Garuda is also the enemy of snakes and the friend of humans, and is often depicted carrying Lord Vishnu on his back. Our last pose that we're going to cover today is Garudasana. Garudasana is eagle pose. So we are going to start with the right leg and cross it over the left. If you're flexible enough to hook that toe around behind the calf, that's an option. Right leg goes over, which means right arm goes under at the elbow, and then those arms twist with the palms meeting up. Holding that pose, bringing the toe up off the floor, lifting the elbows. We can unwind the feet, the legs, unwind those arms. Garudasana. Some options with differing balance abilities. You could have a block here. I'm going to switch to the other side here. So I'm going to have my left cross over my right, and maybe I have this block here to help with my balance. So my left is over my right, which means my left goes under at that elbow, and they meet in the middle here, and I can use that block maybe for a little balance. Okay, and we'll unwind. Another option, maybe if the arms twisting is either out of your physical ability, big biceps, whatever it may be, maybe just having the hands, the forearms together would be a good stretch. We can lift those elbows and lower those elbows to help open up those shoulders. So Garudasana. Thank you so much for watching the video. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, take care and do yoga.